All right, good morning, everybody. Um, so everybody been asking me to make a video of a motivational video. I always say I don't know how to, but I'm gonna start off with my childhood. I was raised in foster care all my life, from the age of 8 to the age of 21. Um, the worst experience I ever had. My mother was, you know, wasn't at the time was not able to take care of us. She was not in a stable predicament, and we ended up in foster care. Um, while in foster care, we ended up separated. Me and my brother and sisters. It's five of us. The worst experience ever. Been jumping from house to house. 25 foster homes for me. I don't know how many my brother and sisters been through, but I've been through 25 foster homes. That includes placements, shelters, um, temporarily housing or temporarily foster homes. Um, but it was the worst experience for me ever. Um, at the first foster home, we was all together. It didn't work out. We ended up going to a shelter. We ended up getting separated. Me and my brother Christian, um, we was raised in one foster home. Then we ended up getting separated. Was the worst experience I got. I have gotten beaten. I have gotten touched. I have been molested. I have been in so many worse predicament foster home. I used to cry at night. I used to cry at night for my family. I used to want to see my family. I used to run away a lot of the times. Um, all I wanted at that time was to see my brother and sisters. I wanted my mom so bad, but my mother, she was not in the picture. And while we was being raised in foster care, I ran away, and then they put me in a lockdown facility, which was 16 hours away from Philadelphia. And I used to see my brother and sisters for 3 years. From the time I was 13, from the time I was 13 to 16. And then after I was 16, put me in another lockdown facility, which was an hour away from Philadelphia. I always ran away from there as well. After that, they tried to put me in another lockdown facility. They ended up putting me in a group home. I ran away from the group home. When I found out they was going to put me in another lockdown facility, went out and got pregnant with my first son, Eric, at 16 years old. Um, I ain't seen my brother and sisters from the time from the time I was 13 to I was 16. Then I ain't seen them again until I was pregnant with my oldest son, Eric, and they just saw me. They was just like so surprised. It was the worst experience of my life, and I cried about it a lot. And I like people ask me how did I get over it, or how was I able to move forward. Um, I got over it by, honestly, for me, it's me giving birth to my oldest son. Um, he changed me. He changed me, and I realized family's important. So in my head, being so we didn't have my mom, and we were being raised by strangers and being raised by foster carers and different types of homes, and everybody else kids, we being bullied and all that. Like, it made me realize that family is so important. I teach that to Evan and Maurice now. Well, I've been teaching them that before this, but then the accident happened. But like, family is important. So being raised in foster care, being as though we was separated, all of us was all separated. I didn't I didn't get the kind of love I wanted to. Everybody else had. At my school, I used to get bullied at school a lot. Being raised in foster care, they used to be like, your mom didn't want you, you're walking abortion. Your dad didn't want you, you're walking abortion. It used to make me cry. I used to get bullied a whole lot because I was raised in foster care, and everybody see me transferring from school to different schools. Every other week, I'm being transferred to a different school because I had to go to a new foster home. It was the worst experience of my life, but also the greatest experience because it also like made me realize that when I had kids, I don't want them to go through that. I don't ever want them to. ever lived without me. So like it taught me how to be a mom. It taught me how to love. It taught me it opened my eyes, but it was the worst experience ever in my life. Like it was just the worst. I used to be like my foster dad used to touch me just to be like, "You so pretty, you're so pretty, Crystal. You're so pretty. You're so pretty." And I used to be like, "Oh, thank you." I used to look at my wear, but they used to be like touching on me and feeling on me, and I couldn't. I would tell my DHS worker, and I would tell like my lawyers and all of them, and they wouldn't remove me from the house. They were just like, "Oh, we gonna make a report," but never made a report because they didn't have another foster home for me to go to. It was just like they like it was just not no help in the foster care system. But then like when I every time I went to court, oh, I spoke. I wanted to be removed. I wanted to do this. I wanted to be like I want to do better. I want them to pay for my college. I want this. And they gave me everything I wanted. They gave me independent living after I had gotten pregnant with my oldest son. Because I had to tell the judge, I had to tell everybody like how I was being touched, how I was being treated. I ended up getting independent living. Um, so once I ended up getting independent living, I ended up having my second son, Evan. And that's when my life changed. That's when my life changed because I'm like, I was in high school. Still in the foster care system. I was in high school, and I dropped out because I had two kids, and I'm 18 years old with two kids. And I'm like, oh, I'm stressing out, and I'm pregnant with my third kid, and I'm like, oh man. So I dropped out, and I was still, like I said, foster care system. They took me to court to take my kids. I fought very hard. I rushed to go back to school. I said I can't give up. My kids, they made and lied to me. Like I said, I was not having my mom, not having my dad, not having family around, taught me that family is really important. I love my kids. So, you know, when they took me to court, I ended up beating the case. I ended up still keeping the kids. I registered to go back to school. Um, when I had my youngest son, Maurice, he ended up graduating high school. Um, my DHS worker was there. My foster mom was there. My foster brothers was there. My real brother and sister was there. I graduated with my brother, my biological brother. But I was happy just to hear "Mommy did it, Mommy did it" was the most grateful thing. I couldn't I can't explain it, but it was like it was just a wonderful feeling. And being raised in all them foster homes. It taught me how to love. It taught me how to be open minded. It taught me that everything not gonna always be perfect, but like you gotta make it perfect. So with the foster care system, I took that and everything. Every time I went to court, I needed this, I needed that for my kids' clothes allowance, food allowance. Can they pay for my college? Can they pay for my laptop? Can they pay my sister as well? Like they was like we took advantage of it. Can they pay for my apartment? They paid for me to move into my first apartment by myself. They was paying my rent for 2 years, 3 years. But I took advantage of it. Being raised in foster care system for me was not the greatest. I was the most horrible thing ever. But I knew that like I had to make it different, and then I ended up having kids. So in the foster care system, so I took that and I took advantage of that. A lot of kids be like they want to get out of it. They want to get out of it. At the at the same time, take advantage of it because when you get out here in the real world, oh, it's gonna be harder. Like trust me, I've been beaten in foster care. I've been touched in foster care. I've been like people has like talked to me down. My foster parents like talked to me how my mom not gonna ever come back. My mom not ever gonna get us. Like made me cry. I walked around with looking dirty, getting bullied. Like my foster parents. I went through all that. I went through all that. Even through them telling me you're never gonna be a good mom. Before I even had kids, they was like you're gonna play the same role as your mom. You're gonna do the same thing as your mom. Like they kept telling me that. But in the back of my mind, I had to keep moving forward. I couldn't let somebody else. I couldn't let somebody else tell me I can't make it. I couldn't like. I'm grateful to be here. I'm glad I went through that life experience through being in the foster care system. It taught me a lot. But I went through that, and all I'm going to tell everybody who's in the foster care system or got kids in the foster care system or whatever, take advantage of that. And people who got kids in it, get your shit together. Get your crap together. Like, if foster care is not where kids should be raised at, and kids that are in the foster care system, take advantage of that. Take advantage of it. Don't follow their rules. But if they don't give you what you asking for, go to court. You more to walking to speak. Like, I had to learn that at 16 years old, I was able to speak. Like, my sisters, my brothers, all of us went to court and speak. We had to go fight to go see each other to have visitation rights. We didn't have to run away no more. So all I'm telling y'all is, if y'all in the foster care system, fight. Fight for your rights. And, like, ask the judge for like, whatever y'all need. Clothes allowance, food, anything. Like, them caseworkers don't let y'all know everything. And they won't. They're not going to let you know. But I'm telling you, if you go through a judge, it will get done. That's anybody who's in the foster care system, because I was raised in the foster care system. But I took advantage, even though I had to go through everything that was so bad to get everything out of them. I went through it. So all I'm telling y'all is, understand, even if y'all, like, is shy, open your mouth. Go to your lawyer. Talk to other people. Talk to everybody who's in the DHS building, because somebody will help you. And I'm just letting you know. But everybody have a good one.